Tony Stark suffered from PTSD and was gaslit by Doctor Strange to commit genocide and got himself killed in the process. Even worse, in reality, his death was totally unnecessary and was completely avoidable.
Everywhere I go, I see his face.
In this video, we'll dive deep into Stark's death spiral as he falls from a successful war profiteer.
You big man in a suit of armor. Take that off. What are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
And becoming a victim of a concerted gaslighting that turned him into a reluctant hero / genocidal maniac. We'll explore how dismantling his father's legacy of a military empire puts him in a death spiral into a personal tragedy. Was Tony always destined to pay the ultimate price, or was his downfall orchestrated by Doctor Strange, who gaslit him into a genocidal endgame? Discover the darkly ironic fate of a billionaire genius whose reckless decisions leading to a tragedy of epic proportions.
I don't feel so good.
You're all right.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I don't want to go. I don't want to go, sir. Please. Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I'm sorry.
And for Tony Stark, it all started by being rich. Now, one of the perks of being rich is owning a private jet. And if you're really rich, you might even have a retractable stripper pole on board. And why would you want to have a stripper pole on board your planes? Why, of course, so that you can have sex workers on this retractable stripper pole in your private jets. Something that, according to popular belief, billionaires in the 2000s just loved to have to do. And it is exactly this avarice that makes Tony Stark relatable to plebeians like you, because you like strippers on dance poles at 30,000 feet.
Admit it.
Interestingly,
That's what I'm talking about.
the first Iron Man movie was the only time we saw Tony Stark indulging in such airborne decadence. Why? Well, remember when he tried selling bombs to some of the worst imperialist colonizers the world has ever seen?
Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both? With that in mind, I humbly present the crown jewel of Stark Industries' Freedom Line. It's the first missile system to incorporate our proprietary repulsor technology. They say the best weapon is one you never have to fire. I respectfully disagree. I prefer the weapon you only have to fire once. That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty well so far. Find an excuse to let one of these off the chain, and I personally guarantee you the bad guys won't even want to come out of their caves. For your consideration, the Jericho.
I mean, they did spend 20 years replacing the Taliban with the Taliban.
Some people call me a terrorist. I consider myself a teacher.
The Mandarin. He gave his figurehead the name of a chicken dish. And it worked. America was terrified of an orange.
Yeah, peace. I love peace. I'll be out of a job with peace.
Come on, click it. Don't change any settings.
What's going on?
Contact lab!
What do we got? Wait! Give me a gun! Here!
On his way back, one of his own bombs decided to drop by. Though luckily, it had a delayed fuse. Just enough to make sure everyone knew whose bomb it is before it went off. Coincidentally,
Coincidence? I think not.
Coincidentally, this is the same feature that allowed the Scarlet Witch to know who killed her parents. This stroke of luck landed Tony with a free ticket to a desert cave with a weekend retreat. Hosted by the Marvel Talibans. And being the workaholic that he is, instead of enjoying the scenery, I mean, look at that beautiful desert cave. We have the best desert cave here, folks. It's so rustic. Being the workaholic that he is, he just couldn't enjoy the desert biome, and instead, he chose to spend his time to build this abomination. I mean, it's crude and ugly, but he did it. Tony Stark built an ugly but functional suit of armor
In a cave with a bunch of scraps.
anyway. I don't think Tony liked the time he spent there, because when it was time to check out, he chose to stiff the room service bill instead. Oh, and he decided to kill all the Talibans on his way out.
My turn.
Just your typical Stark melodrama. And also, he blew up the entire spot, too. Tony Stark is anything if not too melodramatic. But that's not all, folks. Because it looks like the time he spent there in a cave with a box of scraps was a pretty productive one. Because as soon as he got back, he ordered a goddamn Burger King and announced that he's going to stop supplying weapons to every terrorist on Earth.
Sat down? Why don't you just sit down? That way you can see me and I can... A little less formal than... I saw young Americans killed by the very weapons I created to defend them and protect them. And I saw that I had become part of a system that is comfortable with zero accountability. I had my eyes open. I came to realize that I have more to offer this world than just making things that blow up. And that is why, effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer division of Stark International.
I don't know, but maybe he got some PTSD or something. But this is something that Howard Stark should have done a long time ago. But oh no! Mr. Disneyland just needed to blow up more people. Luckily, the commies put the kibosh on this one capitalist pig when the Winter Soldier finally did something about him. Pop quiz, hotshot. You spend your life being a merchant of death. What do you get at the end?
Get what you f***ing deserve!
I never got to say goodbye to my father. There's questions that I would have asked him. I would have asked him how he felt about what this company did. If he was conflicted, if he ever had doubts. Or maybe he was every inch the man we all remember from the newsreels.
The capitalist piglet wasn't very happy about it.
Do you
Captain America decided to be on the right side of history and joined forces with the cops. To beat the crap out of the capitalist piglet that is Tony Stark.
You're welcome.
For what? Did I miss something?
Me saving your life.
Yeah, A, saved you first. B, thanks,
I mean,
sort of.
Tony Stark deserves to be poor, you know. After getting a free ticket to a weekend desert spa with the Taliban, he decided on a whim that he's going to stop selling weapons to every terrorist on Earth.
I had my eyes open. I came to realize that I have more to offer this world than just making things that blow up. And that is why, effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer division of Stark International until such a time as I can decide what the future of this company will be, what direction it should take, one that I'm comfortable with and is consistent with the highest good for this country as well.
I mean,
Hey man, make love, not war.
his dad spent his lifetime being a merchant of death so that Tony Stark can wear some good pair of shoes. And this is how he pays him back? Good call.
I am Iron Man.
I mean, seriously, good call. Nobody can fight and win wars without war machines.
The Iron Man weapon.
My device does not fit that description.
How would you describe
I would
your device?
describe it by defining it as what it is, Senator.
As?
It's a high-tech prosthesis. That's actually the most apt description I could make of it.
It's a weapon. It's a weapon, Mr. Stark. I hate
Please,
to inform
if
you.
your
It's a
priority
weapon.
was actually the
No,
well-being
my
of
priority
the
is to get the
American
Iron Man
citizen.
weapon turned over to the people of the United States of America.
Well, you can forget it. I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one.
And the biggest warmonger on Earth even tried to confiscate the Iron Man suit.
Point that he's making. I don't think there's any reason that can.
Point is, you're welcome, I guess, because I'm your nuclear deterrent. You want my property? You can't have it. But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace. What more do you want? I tried to play ball with these ass clowns.
F you, Mr. Stark. F you, buddy.
But Tony Stark's conviction and personality allowed him to have the spine to stand up to these bullies.
My bond is with the people. And that is why, effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer division of Stark International.
However, Tony Stark shutting down the private military industrial complex that his dad worked a lifetime to build did have some financial implications for him. Other than that, he had to sell the Avengers Tower.
Everything's got to be out of here by next week.
Wait, you're moving? Who's moving?
Yeah, don't you watch the news? Tony sold Avengers Tower.
He also had to resort to a smaller private jet in Iron Man 2.
Ah, poor little fella.
He can't even afford to buy his 24th mega yacht anymore.
I haven't cried like that since Titanic.
Seriously, don't cry for Tony Stark being downgraded from the richest billionaire on Earth to become the super rich billionaire class. I mean, it isn't that big of a deal. He's still rich. So, what did Tony Stark learn from his mistake here?
That came out of nowhere.
Absolutely nothing.
So you get nothing. You lose.
Good day, sir!
This is because Tony Stark never actually learned from his mistakes. Some engineering details that he fixed, yes, sure. He fixed some piping and freezing issues, those kind of stuff.
How'd you solve the icing problem? Icing problem?
Might want to look into it.
And even till the end, Tony Stark never learned a thing.
I am inevitable.
You know, Tony Stark didn't really have to snap his fingers here. He already got all the Infinity Stones. He's already the most powerful being in that battlefield that day. With all 5 stones, he could have just beat the crap out of Thanos and all his army single-handedly. But oh no, Tony just had to be the hero. And not to mention, he's a victim of Doctor Strange gaslighting him the whole time. But Tony Stark never learned from the fundamental mistakes that he made.
I love you 3,000.
Even though he was surrounded by some very wonderful people. I mean, they come up with this reminder that Tony Stark has a heart. But the problem is, they didn't mount a heart there.
That doesn't look like a Jericho missile.
That's because it's a miniaturized arc reactor.
But what could it generate?
If my math is right, I don't know what it is, 3 gigajoules per second.
That could run your heart for 50 lifetimes.
Yeah. Or something big for 15 minutes.
But it's almost a murder weapon. Remember when Pepper Potts ripped it out of Tony's chest?
I just want you to reach in, and you're just going to gently lift the wire out.
Is it safe?
Yeah, it should be fine. It's like operation. Just gently lift the wire.
There's pus.
It's not pus. It's the copper wire. You got it?
I got it.
Okay, you got it. Now don't let it touch. Eyes when you're coming out. That's what I was trying to tell you before. Okay, now make sure that when you pull it out, you don't pull out there's a magnet at the end of it. That was it. And it's just pulled out. Okay.
Oh God!
I was not expecting. Don't put it back in. Don't put it back in.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just going into cardiac arrest because you yanked.
Yeah, that almost killed him. And this is the heart that they want Tony to remember? Tony Stark simply never recovered from that PTSD he got from spending 1 weekend at the Taliban desert retreat. And with very little social support from the people around him, things can only get worse.
And then, one day...
Yes.
I will.
He met a shaman who can tell his fortune.
Tony Stark, I'm Dr. Stephen Strange. I need you to come with me. We need your help. Look, it's not overselling it to say that the fate of the universe is at stake.
Strange, we all right?
Tony Stark didn't know it at the time, but that led him down the path of no return.
Be back, Jeremy.
Hey, what was that?
Went forward in time to view alternate futures, to see all the possible outcomes of the coming conflict.
How many did you see?
14,605,000.
How many did we win?
gonna be okay. You can rest now.